This is the Neoliberal Round podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Round podcast. I'm Renaldo McKenzie. Today, I want to share a quick thought, or share a quick note on recent discussions surrounding Donald Trump's decision, or him wanting to send troops to Chicago, and him sending troops to National Guards to where did he send them to? DC. I understand that MSNBC had a phone call from an African American woman who had indicated or shared that she was happy for Donald Trump. She supports Donald Trump's decision. I don't know, and she wasn't sure why people were against him. They were really having some crimes in certain cities like Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, certain black cities, certain cities where you have a higher levels of black and brown people, where you have high levels of income inequality and poverty. You find that there's high levels of theft and so on and so forth, some levels of theft and robberies and some gang killings and so on, black crimes and so on and so forth. So many people feel, especially in Chicago, crime and violence have been high, and I know that the mayor and the governor have said that yes, it's been high, but they have been, the security forces, the police, they've been doing a lot in terms of reducing crime. Crime is at its lowest, I believe, at 32% reduction in crime in Chicago. So there's a lot of work in the cities. Yet they believe, but yet crime is still high. There's a lot needs to be done. Even in Philadelphia, there's a lot needs to be done. They're doing a lot in these cities where there's high levels of crime and violence. But what we the political issue is, and not only it's the political issue, it's a constitutional issue, it's a legal issue. Does the president have the right to send troops to cities? And does he have the right to take over the work of the police? And many believe that he doesn't, and he believes he does have the right. And there are some citizens that are willing to have the president come in and to bring the National Guard into the city. But there are ways you do that. But what I have said, and in the book that we're about to release, which I'm trying to release, Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, I've talked about the issue of relative deprivation. No amount of military forces, or no increase in the security forces or the police forces will help to reduce crime and violence, or poverty in crime and violence. Because the problem of crime and violence is not a military issue, it's not a police issue. A lot of the crime and violence stems from what we call relative deprivation. The more poverty you have, and when you have high levels of income inequality, you're gonna have these high levels of crime and violence. And so we have to find ways not just to provide more police presence, but we also have to improve the socioeconomics within these places, of the people in these places, improve the lives of people in communities, provide more opportunities, yes, expand programs that help to take people out of poverty. Okay, there's also the issue of rising income inequality. And of course, relative deprivation theory says that when you have high levels of income inequality and poverty, you will have high levels of crime and violence. And that's it. So you have crime and violence, and no matter, fine, you might put more police on the road and so on and so forth, or more National Guards, but how long are you able to maintain the National Guards? I mean, we're already paying the National Guards millions of dollars per day. We're paying ICE millions of dollars per day. It is costing us a lot of money to put police on the road in order to deter crime. When we can get more value for our money if we were to invest in providing opportunities for these people and taking them out of poverty and providing them um, uh, um, real jobs, real opportunities. So I don't know if we can maintain paying millions of dollars per day to have the National Guards out there in the streets deterring crime and violence, petty crimes, and so on and so forth as well. And I don't know how long we can maintain this uh, the low levels of crime and these reductions and these low levels, because while we have high level police presence out there, the fact of the matter is, if we have rising income inequality and more abject poverty and so on, which with a recession looming in this economy, things are going to get bad. And if we are also being very draconian about social welfare and programs that help to minimize and mitigate poverty and the high rising costs and life in America, then it's only going to create opportunities for these people to be creative with how crimes are committed. I believe that we have, in terms of, I don't think we should deal with crime and violence militaristically or looking at security as the only effective ways. We have to also look at the issue of poverty and income inequality. We have to look at providing more opportunities and the programs and how effective they are in targeting poverty and targeting people who are more prone to crime and violence as a result of poverty and also the lacking resources. There have been several cuts. Several communities benefit from people who have been cut from their jobs and what's going on in the society. So those are the ways we should be looking at this. These are the kind of discussions we want to have and we should be having. So yes, I understand some people would be saying, well, yeah, we want more police in the streets, but police alone can't deal with crime and violence. We also have to look at the socio-economic situation in our society, in our community, and the fact that the rising poverty, and not just poverty but abject poverty. So because they are, and just so you know, unemployment. How many people were employed last period? 22,000 people. We have over 330 million people living in this country, and we only have 22,000 jobs. GDP, the country didn't grow. Our GDP has been stagnant. It was stagnant over the last period, not much growth. The growth that we have is subpar. So we're not growing. I mean, the last period suggests that there was no growth in the economy. Okay, prices ticked up slightly. So the economy is they're not looking any better, and so I know we're hearing that the big beautiful bill involves some cuts that's going to involve programs that help to minimize the costs, the rising costs in this country, and at the same time we find that is giving tax breaks to billionaires and the very wealthy in this country, while the outlook is very grim for those at the bottom and at the bottom, and those in the middle continue to have to pay the brunt of the cost of this country. The middle class we're talking about here. This is the Neoliberal podcast, coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Continue to support us. Visit us at Neoliberal.com and Renaldo C, McKenzie.com. And just so you know, you can visit us at store.theneoliberal.com, and you can support us by going to via PayPal, by going to @theneoliberal, or going to theneoliberal.com and going to support, and you can support us in those ways. Email us at Renaldo C McKenzie @gmail.com or info@theneoliberal.com. Follow us on Facebook, the Neoliberal Corporation, the Neoliberal Bookstore, or Renaldo C. McKenzie. We're on LinkedIn as Reverend Renaldo McKenzie, or the Neoliberal Corporation. We're on Facebook as well. Twitter as the Neoliberal Co. or Renaldo McKenzie. We're all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. All good.